Right, I'm going to try and do a video on not dying so much, mostly for new players. If you've played for a long time, you will know that there's a big divide between mostly veteran players and new players. Mostly because the veteran players basically clean up the newer players, especially on NC. If you've got veteran TR players and veteran VS players, yeah, it can be pretty hard for newer players. There's certain things you can do, but I'm just going to try and explain a few or try and help the newer players out. So yeah, I will say before the video starts, I'm not anything special. You know, I'm not like, you know, a really good player in terms of 1v1. You know, I don't go around owning everybody I come across. I just basically just feel that the new players could benefit from some, you know, assistance really. And yeah, I'm going to try and put a video together. So anyway, yeah, with what you want to do in every situation as a new player, you want to go for headshots. Headshots are important, very important. Now with headshots, you get double damage. So whatever you do, you get double damage. I think. I believe it's double damage. But anyway, yeah. So that's the first thing. Now, you need to train for headshots. The way you do this is just by shooting and shooting and shooting headshots over and over again. So, as you can see, I'm using a standard rifle. But when this guy comes back, so imagine you're getting shot at. You're running around in circles, you try not to get shot, and you bang the guy in the head. So you want to keep your gun up like this and aim straight for the head. Okay, you don't have your gun down here. You run in a room and then have to move it to it. You want to keep it down. You want to keep it up, sorry. And zoom straight in. Now there's loads of ways to not die. That includes not rushing in. Now I will say, as a new player, a lot of people just rush in and die for no reason. And I find that quite funny, really. People say, oh, he's hacking or something. They probably ran in against this guy like 20 times now. And they probably died 15 out of the 20 times. And then people will say, oh, he's hacking. Well, the guy is just defending the point. It's your fault that you keep dying. It's not his fault. So anyway, so let's pick the standard rifle. NC1 Gauss rifle. I'm picking it on an engineer, but just to give you a brief. So what I used to do is to practice for headshots. Is I would put down a barrier like this, pretending this is the room. So I would then pretend I'm going in a doorway. This is the doorway, and I would peek round like that. And I would shoot him in the head and peek back. Like that. So what you're trying to do, you're trying to assess the situation. So if the guy's in a room, you're going around like that. But you get the gist of it. And obviously that's a weird way of doing it, but it's the way I used to just do it really, just to train. Now I will say I'm not very good at headshots. I'm completely rubbish at them really. And 90% of the time, a good player will own me. Like, it's just the way it is. It doesn't bother me getting owned, really. It's not something that interests me. Because at the end of the day, I play to have fun. And if I die, I die. It is what it is. But now, for the more competitive player, you might not want to die so much. And as a new player, I think dying can put off a lot of people. This is because you keep dying. You think, oh, right, okay, I've got veteran players playing against me, and what is the point in trying? Now the veteran players have been playing a very long time, so they learn how to hit headshots, or they don't train for headshots, they just do them automatically. So you get players that have been playing for years, and sometimes, not all the time, you'll play against them and you'll just keep dying and dying and dying. It just is what it is. Now, another thing as well, another tip, you want to use cover. So as you can see, like I was using cover over there, if you imagine that as a wall that's stuck straight up, imagine this as a wall. Now you're going in, you're peeking around like that. You're going in, you see somebody who's there, you go back into cover, you reload, and then you do that. So right, another tip as well, probably seen people duck in game. This is something that people do to avoid getting headshot. So as you can see, I've ran straight in, so I'm going around like that. I'm aiming for headshots. Going around, I'm aiming for headshots. Oh, friendly, but you get the gist. Friendly or not, you want to aim for headshots. So at any range, you want to try and hit headshots. Now, people duck to avoid the headshots. Now, I think if you haven't reset, if you haven't changed your controller settings, it's circle by default, I think. And what you want to do, you want to go down to settings. You want to change your infantry controls to cover. Now this means that you will be using your R3, your analog controller, to duck. So just makes it a lot easier. Now I don't tend to duck that often. I will duck sometimes. I spoke to a guy from PC once, and he said that a lot of people duck on PC, and he called them tryhards. He said because they're trying not to get killed, so they'll duck a lot and try and move to side. Now with me, I move from side to side normally, like this, and I will shoot from the hip. Another thing to get into is hip fires. Hip firing is very useful, if you don't know, like that. But some people will aim for headshots, like that, and then move away. Another thing to get into also is your secondary. Now I've got a really bad secondary, but the reason you might use this particular secondary, to show you quick. Say I'm using an engineer and I'm using, say, a sniper rifle variant, or an archer as it's called. Now I might use this as my main weapon, just because this is obviously not good at killing infantry. No, it's not impossible to kill infantry, but it is quite hard. When you get in close combat with someone, you're not going to be able to hit them. Now another thing you have to bear in mind is that yes, these are bots, and yeah, I'm shooting them, they're stood still. Now you've got to realise that when people you're fighting against, they're not bots, they're not standing there, they're whipping around all over the place, they're doing the friggin' splits, they're doing the Michael Jackson moonwalk, you know, just to stop you from hitting them. So you've got to be, you know, you've got to be on the ball really. Now it can be really difficult to hit headshots, because you're probably looking at this video thinking, well, I hit headshots all the time, or I try to. But this guy, he's ducking all over the place, he's jumping around, he's breakdancing and all sorts, just to stop himself from getting hit. Now, it is hard, I'm not going to lie. That's why you hip fire a lot. So, let me just get the GR22 for example. So here, the GR22. There you go. So, you're not going to hip fire at someone that's that far away. You can try and aim for headshots. Another good thing to do is to burst fire instead of holding your trigger down. So for example, this guy here, you burst fire. Okay, don't hold your hand down, otherwise you'll be all over the place. That's a good thing to do as well. So as I say, I'm not good at one-on-ones, but I'm just trying to give you a heads up. The game does put you against veterans. Now there's not a lot you can do about that. It's just the way the cookie crumbles really. If you're a new player and you've just started, you're like, well, I'm going against these level 200s or ASP level 100, blah, blah, I'm going against 100 level. There's nothing you can do. If you're dying constantly, then just change bases. And this also goes for, if you go to a base on the map, so we look at the map right now. Say, for example, there was a base over here and you went there and there's a lot of people there. Now, you get organised groups sometimes. If there's a group that's organised and you're getting totally wrecked, then the best thing you can do at that particular base is just try and farm. Don't try and go for the point. Don't try and waste your energy, really, because I've seen a lot of people, new players, that just keep running and running and running to the point. And I was like that, I'm gonna lie. I was like that at one stage. I was like, I don't get why my team's not coming to help me. My team's not coming. Where are they? You know, where the hell's NC? At the end of the day, there's no team. You are the team, okay? And unless you're going to kill 10 men, you're not going to take the point. There's no one's going to come and help you because they're busy elsewhere. Now, the best thing you can do is stand in spawn and try and take what's left instead of trying to die a lot. So don't come out of spawn. If they're spawn camping you, just stay in spawn, get a ton of kills, jump out the base or jump out the spawn just before it falls to the enemy, and just carry on and move to the next base. There's no point wasting your energy. Now, you could change bases and go somewhere else, but generally you could just try and farm, try and get a couple of farm, or try and get a couple of kills and just farm the area, really. Grow some vegetables, I don't know, put up a greenhouse. No, but seriously, if you was at a base and there's a group of 10 men there and there's only like 2 or 3 of you there to defend it, don't worry too much about it. Don't waste your energy. But as I say, some bases, this is more for Ceres players. Ceres doesn't have massive fights. Now, you might get a 48 to 96 fight. You go there and it might be pretty big, but generally the fights that I go to, or have been going to lately, are like 4 to 10 people max. And you might get less organisation. I don't see many outfits from TR or VS. They do Zerg, like there is Zergs, but earlier, yesterday I was fighting over a base, and it was a 5 versus 5 kind of scenario. Now these are winnable, and it comes down to you as a person being good at your ground game. Now yes, you can pull vehicles, you can pull air vehicles and fly in and bomb the crap out of them and stuff like that, but I mean actual like boots on the ground shooting a weapon. Now, as you know, the combat medic really useful, so you want to heal yourself as you're fighting. So nano regen, get that to max. When you're shooting at someone and fighting them, you can heal yourself. People say it's like a mini heavy assault. Now, a heavy assault is the king of ground by far. Now, comes with experience using a heavy. Now, you can use a heavy straight off the bat, but a lot of pros use heavy and they put stuff into it. So, for example, adrenaline shield, nanite mesh, resist shield, grenade bandola, whatever really. I mean, generally you want to use nanoweave, and I use adrenaline shield. But I mean, whatever floats your boat really. But generally people pick this class last because these give the most certs. So like light assault is really good at killing, heavy assault's really good at killing, but you want to improve your cert game, so a lot of people pick these first. But if you decide to pick heavy, same rules apply really. Don't just rush in and start shooting people and dying. Try and use every little bit of it. So let's pretend that you're going down here, down this set of stairs, right, for example. Now there's a wall here, you can't see what's down them stairs. So you come around it like this and you're edging around like this and you're seeing someone and you start shooting them. That's what I mean. You know, don't just rush around the stairs, run down the stairs and then get shot, because that's not doing anything. That's not being a good NC player. Well, an NC noob. You see a lot of people doing that, just running down the stairs and dying and then doing a repeat. So I'm trying to just give you a bit of an indication why now. People duck as well. So yeah, as I say, you want to change your controls. You want to use cover as much as you can. Like for example, don't be stood on a massive hill shooting people. You're going to get sniped. You're going to get killed. So for example here, you think, oh, he's in the distance, I'll stand here. So you stand here like this. Start shooting people. Okay, use your cover. You've got cover here. Edge around like that. You see somebody, you shoot them. You edge back. You reload. As I was saying earlier about pistols, I never actually talked about them much. Now, I'm going to use a combat medic for this. So you've got a mag shot, which is really good. Just standard, really. You've got other ones like the Commissioner, really good as well. They're all pretty standard stuff, really. But I tend to use like the Commissioner, for example. So with sidearms, you pull them out and shoot. So you shoot them when you're running out of ammo. So what I mean by this is you're in cover like this. You're shooting people. You go to reload. Oh, somebody there. There you go. You try and take them out with your pistol. Now, it's not a guaranteed 100% way of killing people. Pistols can be quite hard to use, but it just helps you. It can get you out of some sticky situations. So if you're reloading, bang, pull out your pistol. Try and shoot them. And as I said, always aim for headshots. So for example, see, took me 2 shots. Let me aim at the chest when he comes back. I'll aim for this guy. See, it doesn't take me 2, it takes me 3. So yeah, it can add an extra bullet on, but headshots guaranteed. Always remember to duck, and if the base is overrun by the enemy. Now, I'm talking about Zergs. There's a lot of Zergs in planetside, especially Ceres. It can happen at certain times of the day when people are most active. A Zerg is when a group of enemies group together and do what's called Zerging. Zerg is, or used to be a term used in StarCraft apparently. That's what somebody said. A StarCraft, you build an army and attack the enemy. So they used to build a Zerg to attack the enemy, and they would just overwhelm them with just forces, well, level 1 forces basically. That's what I heard anyway. But in this particular game, they will just group up, Zerg you, and it's no fun really for the enemy. This is because you can't fight a Zerg. If there's 15 players and there's only one of you, and you've got nobody else at the base, you're just going to keep dying and dying and dying. So if that is the case and you're new, just change bases, try and go somewhere else, somewhere that's not as Zergy. Now, this is easier said than done, because there might be not many fights on the map really. If that is the case, then just stand in spawn and try and just pick off a few people. Don't think too hard about losing the base. It's going to be lost because it's a Zerg. But yeah, don't feel the need to go out of base and start attacking people and shooting people up, because you're only just going to get yourself killed, and for no reason really, because you can't take the base. Now, I've been guilty of this in the past, you know, just dying a ton. This is what it is, mostly because I play engineer, and with engineer you have to put so you might be rushing to a place to try and get, I don't know, the generator up, and with that you just die a ton. Now, I'm running to a generator, I'm repairing the generator, and I get killed. So I just keep dying and dying and dying, trying to get a generator. Now, yeah, so I've talked a lot about it. I hope this helps. I'm trying to think of other things really. But yeah, generally you want to aim for headshots. Now, what I used to do is I used to just put headphones in really, listen to some music and just come here and try and hit headshots. It does improve your game quite a lot. So yeah, I hope this video helped. If you've got any questions, leave them down in the comments section really. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. I've said everything I could say really. As I say, I'm not a 1v1 god or anything. Don't ask to 1v1 me, I probably it doesn't bother me. But yeah, if you have any questions, leave them down below. If you see me in game, send me a message, say hello, and I'll see you soon.